Here are 30 more animals that look confusingly similar to another animal, to the point where they're basically both a wannabe and a lookalike of that certain animal. Cray-cray. These crustaceans are also called crayfish, crawfish, and freshwater crayfish, which are also used for spiny lobsters, and even crawdad in the 2016 Powerpuff Girls reboot. They look identical to lobsters, although they aren't from the same family. Tomistoma. It looks quite similar to its relative, the gharial. After all, they are both gavials. However, it looks more identical to slender-snouted crocodiles, and it got its other name of false gharial coined, bonobo. What a funny name. It was previously thought to be a chimpanzee subspecies, where both it and the chimpanzee were then called chimpanzees or chimps, but they're no longer called that anymore. Panthalops. This genus has one living species and one extinct species. It looks like a hybridization of a reindeer and an antelope. The panthalops was once thought to be a true antelope, until being recently classified as a goat. Slow worm. These legless lizards look just like snakes, but they have eyelids and ear holes, as well as their ability to break their tail off. Cricket. These jumpers look quite similar to grasshoppers, their relatives, but there are many differences that distinguish themselves. Wasp. There are many species of wasps, like yellowjackets, hornets, and tarantula hawks. Though having differences, they look a tad bit similar to their relatives, bees. Heron. They look identical to storks, and previously were believed to be a type of stork. Some heron species are called egrets and bitterns. Spiny lobster. Some countries call these after cray-crays or crawfish. Furry lobsters were initially placed with the spiny lobsters. Although a bit identical to true lobsters, they are not those. Porcupine fish. These are what is in shark tail. Also called diodonts, they look so damn different from pufferfish or tetraodonts. But many people traditionally confuse these two fishes. Some porcupine fish are called burrfish. Limbless skink. It is a type of skink that has no legs, and because of that, it looks sort of like a snake. Katydid. This leaf-mimicking insect is also called a bush cricket. It was previously thought to be a type of grasshopper called a long-horned grasshopper, which is what it almost looks like. Gelada. This grass-eating mountain climber has a fleshy red chest and large lion-like teeth. This spooky beast looks strikingly similar to its relatives, the baboons. So much so, that some authors place it in the Papio genus. But in truth, it is part of its own genus. Furry lobster. I actually made a mistake when I was talking about spiny lobsters a minute ago. Furry or coral lobsters are part of the spiny lobster family. They were just previously thought to be part of their own family. These look similar to true lobsters, but are not from that family. Tuatara. These lizard knockoffs inspired the 2023 Netflix movie, Leo. Due to appearances, they were once thought to be a type of lizard. But they are rhynchocephalians, lizard ripoffs that are not actual lizards. Pangolin. This insectivore looks quite similar to an armadillo, but its scales are literally part of its skin, while the scales of an armadillo make up a bony shell. Drill monkey. Two species are currently recognized, the mandrill and the drill monkey or lesser mandrill. These two often get confused with one another and can count as wannabes. However, they are wannabes of baboons, which were previously their closest relatives, until new studies suggest that white-eyelid mangabes are the closest relatives to drill monkeys. Snow leopard. It apparently is called a leopard due to some similarities, but actually, snow leopards are not actual leopards. Hermit crab. Most species are very small, but the biggest can get as big as a human's arm. Despite their similarities to true crabs, they are actually not those. Salamander. These amphibians range from 16 millimeters to 200 centimeters. Some species are known as newts, but they all look identical to lizards, which why Linnaeus previously classified them in the Lacerta genus in 1758. Zebra. Basically, this is exactly like a donkey in white tiger's clothing. It looks identical to its closest relatives, horses and donkeys. So much so, in truth, that some individuals had sex with a zebra to make a hybrid. But despite those facts, a zebra is a completely different type. Guanaco. It looks confusingly similar to llamas, alpacas and vicuñas, but there is a lot of differences between the four. Semi-slug. It looks like what if a snail and a slug had a baby together. After all, it is a gastropod that is intermediate between a snail and a slug. However, it is more of a kind of snail than a slug. Hamster. This cute guy can fit a lot of stuff in its cheeks. There is some similarities between this popular pet and a mouse. But in truth, hamsters are from the Chrysididae family, which also contains other mouse ripoffs. Moth. A moth looks just like a butterfly, which leads to mistaking it for the latter. But believe or not, these sweeties are not from the Rhopalocera, which is the butterfly suborder. False toad. So apparently, these are a type of warty frog that are called toads. And some species were previously assigned as true toads, like from the Bufonidae family. However, they are more like typical frogs than legit toads. Swordfish. This large and speedy fish got its name from its sharp nasal bill, which gives it a resemblance similar to marlins, as the two are billfishes. However, marlins belong to the Istiophoridae family, while swordfishes are from their own family, Ziphioidae, damselfly. Now, these buzzy flyers look confusingly similar dragonflies. However, there's a lot of differences between the two, so please don't call a damselfly a dragonfly. Mountain goat. This mammal's hooves are sticky enough for it to climb mountains, and it does so to lick some salts. As a child, I thought mountain goats are a type of goat, but the slice of truth is that these knockoffs are not true goats, and instead, are more related to cattles than goats. Lepus. This genus contains the hares, and the jackrabbits. When I was a child, I thought that these two sweeties are rabbits. However, it turns out that hares and jackrabbits are not actual rabbits. There we go. And those were 30 more animals that are quite frankly a wannabe of another animal. If you learned something new, then please like and subscribe for more.
Science!